Hello, you beautiful bitches. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for clicking this video. I do appreciate you. That's your girl Tyra, and over here I talk about my life. I do some reaction content, some drama content, and I also play with nails a lot. Whatever brought you here, I'm certainly glad to have you. So I just need you to sit back, relax, and let's get into this video. Editing me here. I know, what am I doing in the beginning of the video? Here's the thing. I always try to find the positive in all these negative situations that happen on YouTube. I am very much doing this video for the masses, right? For the majority of people who know not only about the person I'm talking about, but they know Terry Lynn and they follow her channel and they were probably at the stream or have watched the stream. For those of you who don't have any clue who Chris is, good for you. We love that for you. Our community says congrats. But watching my video, listening to the things that I had to say, on top of then going to Terry Lynn's stream and listening even just to the first 45 minutes, an hour, where this person is on her panel and saying these things and whoop-de-bam, I think there's a grave lesson to be had here, and it is stay away from these emotional vampire trauma bonding lunatics on YouTube, because that's what they are. And we have to remember that our mental health comes first, and self-care is laying down boundaries and sticking to them, because that's something I didn't do here. I didn't stick to my boundaries, and I know better, especially 5 years in, okay? I know better than to make these kinds of friendships. And when you make toxic friendships, it's going to lead to toxic behavior. And the toxic behavior took place on that panel last night. And I'm here to clear some things up. But for those of you who have no idea what I'm going to talk about and you decide you want to stay in this video, I'm giving you the opportunity now to click out, of course. If you don't have a couple hours to give to this situation and hear these things out, you click off for sure. But if you do choose to stay, I want you to understand that making friendships online are very, very dangerous, and it's because there's extremely dangerous people online. Those of us who are not weirdos, we are not the majority, unfortunately. And there really is. There's a grave lesson to be had here. While editing the video, it dawned on me that this could be not just entertainment purposes only, but let's all learn a lesson and make sure that we, you know, keep our boundaries intact and not make toxic friendships online. Ever, 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 ever. I'm 5 years into the game and I'm still getting got. Like, it is what it is, and we have to move on and we have to do better. That's it, that's all. I'm out of here. So, girls, go. Hi, friends. How is everybody? I am doing great. I had a great night's sleep. We got here to where we moved in the suburbs probably around 8 o'clock. We are very far from Logan Square. That's a fact. And I really, really did think that we were going to miss Logan Square, because the suburbs, you just never know what you're going to get. I've never been in this suburb before. There is stuff all over the place that we can walk to. I think we are going to be just fine here. Is it a very quiet neighborhood? Is there a lot of people? No. So I think I'm going to miss that part, but you can walk to get to anywhere and anything. When I got here, I realized, oh my God, I don't have a table and chair. And I need one. I need one to do nails. So I had to go on Amazon and order that. But that will be here hopefully next week. And until then, I guess as long as it's during the day, I can sit outside and do my nails on the table and chairs that's on the little patio. And the little patio is right off of our room, so that's really nice. But me personally, I tend to like to do nails at nighttime. So I definitely needed the table and chair. So I just found a little $20 computer desk and a $10 chair. You know them chairs that you bring to a football game when you're watching the kids play? I bought that chair for $10. 30 bucks, baby, and we got what we need to do nails. I was like, oh my god, I have got to find the cheapest way to do this because I am broke. Am I broke? No, but I'm broke. So I found the cheapest way. Because we got to the new house so late, I missed a majority, the biggest majority, of Terry Lynn's live. A lot of you were there. I've seen a lot of you in chat. It was so nice to see that over 40 people were watching and paying attention to what is crazy, you know? And I'm gonna link the stream below so you can go watch it for yourself. At first, I said, oh my goodness, look at her. She is going to take accountability for her actions because Terry only comes for her when she is beckoned for, right? And Terry hit me up yesterday and she's like, you know, I'm going to give Chris the panel tonight. 30 minutes. And I'm just like, girl, you are not finna be on there for no 30 minutes. No, you are not. She's like, no, I'm keeping it 30 minutes. They weren't. They were up there for like an hour for sure. BTU was up there. Chicago was up there. I don't know a lot about Rebrand, but she came in after. It's extremely difficult for me to hear someone tell like just flat out lies about me. I'm used to people giving their opinion on my life or listening to me say one thing and just saying, oh, but this really means, right? Like, but like flat out, straight out lying, that was a little rough for me, you know? When I watch my friends' streams, I do what I call live reacting, timestamp it and give my opinion. I bet you there's 15 comments for me because I just couldn't say shut. I couldn't. I'm like, oh my god, what is coming out of this chick's mouth? But again, at first, I thought she was going to take accountability. She came on there very nice. She seemed to have her composure. And I thought, you know what? This could actually be a decent stream, you know? Like a decent time for these ladies. It was really cool because I didn't realize that Terry was going to mute herself and literally just give Chris the floor. I don't think I would have been able to do that. I think that just really goes to show just how much Terry Lynn is done with this biatch, you know what I'm saying? And that's just the reality of it. I started hearing all these lies and I'm just like, what is even happening? What is happening around here? And why are we telling these lies? I think it's most important that I address the fact that I have never in my life called myself or offered myself to be a mental health accountability partner. And in her head, or she just made it up, I don't know which. In her head, that's what we were. No, we were trauma bonding over her traumas. And it all started with her talking about how bad her mental health was, right? And how she didn't want to be here, which she has said to other people as well, and I didn't know that until I watched the stream. She talked about taking care of me and Pookie for the last 2 years. I've only been with Pookie for a year and a month. I've only been in Chicago for a year and 2 months, and I have only received one donation from her for $75. And I guess at the time I didn't even consider it a donation. I thought it was just a friend helping me out because I was editing me. I want to also say that I offered to pay it back. If I have to ask a friend for money, okay, I always say I would like to take a loan, and I pay my loans back. You don't burn bridges, and I have some really great women around me who are willing to help me if I need the help, and I'm so lucky. But like, I always pay it back. I did realize that I didn't pay one of my friends back, but I know she forgives me, and when I explain it, it'll be fine. But I'm just saying, okay, like one time I accidentally forgot to pay something back in 5 years, okay? And I do not have to ask for help very often. So we are talking about 10 loans. I took care of her and Pookie for 2 years, but she sent me $75 one time. We're mentioning this donation. She also told me that she mailed me a bunch of Delta 9 pre-rolls to West Virginia. Oh, I took them to the mail today. Gave her the address for Bunny and everything. Do you think those ever showed up in the mail? Why do you think she wanted my address so bad? And if you guys recall, when there was a fallout between Chris and I, it's going to be noisy. There's living happening here. I'm so sorry. But when me and Chris first had a falling out, I was so grateful I didn't give her Pookie's address to send me clothes. But you tell me, I'm going to send you these things. I give you Bunny's address, okay? And you didn't even send them, but said you went to the mail. I couldn't believe the audacity. I have been in the hospital about once every 3 months for the last year. I have been struggling dearly with my mental health, okay, for a year plus. I would never call myself an accountability partner when it comes to my mental health. If I do speak to my friends about my mental health, I simply tell them when it's time to go to the hospital. This is how I'm feeling, this is where I'm at, and I'm going to the hospital. I also don't need a mental health accountability partner, because now that I speak so openly about my mental health, I gain some sort of therapy from talking about my mental health being bad. And I do that on my videos. I don't need to be calling people or crying to people. Like, I don't do that. My friends know better than anybody, especially if you guys have been my friend for 5 fucking years. I do not call and cry to nobody about my problems. Ever. Ever. Face editing me. There are certain friends, not many, okay, just a couple, certain friends that I have vented my whole life to. Okay, so I'm being a liar face, but you don't probably have any clue who those people really are, so just throwing that out there. I don't want to be a liar face. My friends find out that I'm engaged, they find out I'm struggling, they find out all the things through watching my videos, just like you guys do. I do not put my mental health on nobody. I do not call people to talk me through things so we can trauma bond over my traumas. And I think that's just a really shitty thing to put on somebody when you know that part of their content is their mental health. And I think that was the purpose of making up this elaborate story about being mental health accountability buddies, you know? And Beeb said it, you know, like, Tyra is not a mental health accountability partner to nobody because of the way she struggles. And that's perfectly said. And that doesn't offend me. That's not my friend talking shit about me. That is my friend being honest and fucking real. I have no business being anybody's accountability anything, because I have a hard enough time holding myself accountable for anything that I do. Holding yourself accountable when you do things that are wrong for some people is hard, and I'm one of them people. It's hard for me to hold myself accountable because I want to be right. I want to be right in every situation. I don't want to be the one who's effing up and all the things, right? I think what really fucks with me most is the fact that she put that out there, and only recently have I been talking about my mental health. And I know that me talking about my mental health has helped people. I know that people have reached out to me and said, Tyra, I'm glad you're talking about this because guess what? I'm feeling bad too. And maybe I should call my doctor because I don't want to end up in the hospital like you be doing. And nobody does. Nobody wants to be in that hospital. That's a fucking 5 to 8 day lockup. I need people to trust that when I'm talking about my mental health, I'm not trying to hold anybody accountable. I'm not trying to save anybody. I'm not trying to keep anyone from hurting themselves. I'm simply just sharing how I feel in the moment and what I'm going through. Mental health is very, very important, and it always has been. It always has been. It just wasn't always something I would talk about openly. I said in my part 2 video when I addressed this person, you know, that it's a shame. It's a shame that now that I am so open about my mental health, I almost feel as though I was preyed on. And I know that, you know, my ego doesn't want me to believe that I was preyed on because I'm too smart. No, I was preyed on, you know. I've realized that talking about my mental health and my diagnoses and all the things has opened me up to people like her that do want to trauma bond. And unfortunately, in her situation, she really needs that in her life. She needs someone who's going to listen to her complain about her life all the time. I tried diligently to understand her illness. I asked questions. I, you know, was open to hearing things that she had pulled off of Google. But there was only so much talk about actual mental illness, right? Before it became full-on trauma bonding. I also am here to tell you that there was nothing but maybe 2 to 3 conversations with Chris in the month that I was in West Virginia. She was a very needy friend, you know, she needed to be on the phone all the time and wanted to talk all the time. I'm not for the shits. My friends can tell you we don't sit on the phone for hours. We just don't. I don't have the time for that. I'm trying really hard to rebuild this channel and try really hard to reinvent myself in some kind of way and move on in a positive space in my YouTube journey. I just want to give you an example. For example, okay, YouTube wants shorts. Okay, I'm going to give them shorts, but it's going to come from TikTok. I want nothing to do with TikTok. I am not on TikTok like that. I make shorts for YouTube. Like, that's what I do with my time. And certainly that's not the only thing, because I'm always thinking up and dreaming up something, okay? That's just who I am. I'm, like, reaching for the stars, baby. But, like, I do TikToks for YouTube. I have no interest in TikTok. I don't want to be on another platform. I like YouTube just fine. But, like, I'm doing TikToks, guys. From what I can tell, Terry is absolutely and positively done letting this girl on her panel and giving her a voice and all the things, okay? So I know I won't have to address this again. But there was a public stream, and as much as I didn't plan to address this again, here we are. If someone sends you $75 and they're your friend, right? And this was when I was in Chicago. This was not when I was in West Virginia. They are not taking care of me for 2 years. Like, I can show you. It was one Cash App for 75 bucks. About a month before I left for West Virginia. Then it came to be where Tyra said that I was sent that money in order to protect this person from Terry Lynn. Flat out lie. Never even heard that rumor until I clicked on Nichole, which is her new friend, right? Not quite sure why you would lie about something like that. Like, I don't get, like, the aha moment. I don't get and understand the point of that lie. I don't get it. I don't get it, because I can't even protect myself online. So, like, why would anybody be paying me to protect them? I have more problems online than most people I have run into on YouTube, and I can't do anything to protect myself, my family, and everybody else who's been hurt. Why would $75 keep Terry from doing what to Chris? I don't even understand that. I don't understand it, and it's stupid, and I'm just glad that nobody went for that shit. I will say the lies were very stupid, okay, when it came to, like, what Tyra has said about Terry Lynn. If anybody knows me, they know that I do not talk badly about my friends to nobody. None of my friends can sit around and tell you that I talk behind anyone's back. If I'm going to talk behind someone's back, I can guarantee you it is going to be with someone who has known me for years, who has been my friend for years, whom I know I can trust and I can vent to. I have no reason to talk badly about Terry Lynn. When in the fuck did she become a beef streamer? Because I'll tell you, even if Terry Lynn was a beef streamer, what the fuck does that have to do with our friendship? Why would I care what she streams about? Why would that affect our friendship? And there was something else mentioned about how Terry Lynn runs my channel. I have already explained this to Terry Lynn, but I have no problem saying it here. There was a time, a specific time, that I didn't know that somebody was coming on my panel, and Terry Lynn told me. And I happened to mention that to Chris. Like, damn, dude, now I, like, have to redo the whole stream. Like, you know what I'm saying? It just threw a wrench into everything. I've told Terry Lynn what I said, and that is what I said. And it wasn't talking bad about my friend. It was just like, fuck, it threw a wrench into everything that I had planned for the evening for that stream. But the person who was coming on my panel is my friend. Why would I be angry about it? Tyra is such a liar. Tyra is all this, all that. I have done nothing but come to these YouTube streets with the truth. Because at any given time, there's somebody that could expose the truth should I be telling lies. I am so aware that there are people from my past and, you know, my real life who do watch my YouTube videos, who do know that I'm on YouTube. I can't sit here and lie about my life when there are people who know the truth in this world. If I was just out here by myself and didn't have no friends, didn't have shit, I could lie all I want to. Not I would, but I could. I could lie all I want to and not worry about shit. Too many fucking people know me. Too many people know I'm on YouTube. I can't lie about my life. I have also never been known as a liar in my entire life. I don't need to lie. Scared people lie. I'm not scared of anybody or anything or any truth coming out about me. ever, ever. I had someone from my real life who had every opportunity to tell the truth about me, and they didn't, because there's nothing to tell. I'm a good fucking person. I'm a great friend, and that's all there is to it. I know for a fact that I am a very loyal person. Nobody is going to talk shit about Terry Lynn to me. It happened one day, one time, one conversation, and I shut the shit down. And Terry Lynn was not topic of conversation ever again. And those are facts. Never did I sit around with Chris talking shit about Terry Lynn. Nor would I. Nobody has paid me to protect them. Nobody has taken care of me for 2 years. First of all, $75 a month is not taking care of nobody, but okay. This is another example of a really bad parasocial relationship, and I think we all could do better considering what has happened in 2025, right? Like, we could all do better, and I'm talking about the women in our community. We could do better at, you know, making friends when it comes to trusting people and really paying attention to the signs, right? And not letting people cross your boundaries, and seeing things for what they are, as opposed to hoping and praying that it's not what you think it is, but it really is that thing, you know? And I'd like to end this video with Nichole and Chris. I think yous are made for each other. She is an emotional vampire, and Chris is a trauma bonder. They're great for each other. She did her best to, you know, stick up for Nichole while she was up there. And oh my God, I'm not talking about my friendship with Nichole. Like, you don't even like Nichole. The things that Chris has said to me about Nichole, Chris is just doing what Chris does best, and that is finding someone to trauma bond with. I specifically told Chris how wrong it was to continue talking to Nichole, knowing that she doesn't like her and that she feels the way that she feels about her. She thinks that Nichole is a big fat liar. Okay, so it's funny how I became the liar face in this situation. I can't think of anything else that is even remotely relevant to what I just want to say. Make sure you check out the stream. Again, it's linked in the description box. And yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. I don't have nothing else to say, and I will not ever say that lady's name again in my life. And I'm happy she's gone. I'm kind of happy Terry Lynn gave her, you know, one last shot, whatever we're gonna call it, and she made a complete ass of herself. I mean, she really did make a complete ass of herself. She contradicted everything she said, and when she was called out, she changed her story. I'm done here, my friends. I will be recording my mental hospital stay video before the day is over with, at least. And yeah, I'm gonna continue with my content. Let's get this one out and just get it over with. Peace out, Girl Scout. Thanks again for coming. I hope you have a great day or night wherever it is you are, and I'll see you on the next one.